All right, boys. I woke up this morning to a horde and plethora of messages about Hardware Unboxed doubling down on this. I don't know. So here's the interesting thing. At first, in the last video that I reacted to, I assumed that it was just ignorance and negligence on Steve Hub's part of why he was recommending DDR5. Now, after watching this video, honestly, I wouldn't even be making a video if I didn't think it was either agenda driven or purposely malicious in some way, because the data in this video is so cherry picked towards favoring DDR5 that if this actually was ignorance or negligence, then the technical competency of Steve, of his channel, like, that would be alarming if he was that incompetent, right? But so it has to be malicious or agenda driven is what I'm saying. So I'm also doing this video offline because he had some comments about my react video on the last one where he was saying I got some facts wrong. Fair enough. That's why I'm doing this one offline, so I can be much more accurate in my criticisms. Now, I know this is drama, and I hate drama. Trust me, I hate it. I have zero drama in my personal life. But when it comes to consumer rights and consumerism, that's why I made the channel. So when I see malicious things that are going against the consumer, I am always going to call it out. Always. It's no different than me calling out Jay for that whole thing that he did, the stupidity. It's no different than me calling out EVGA for their horrendous consumer practices. The time of the scummy shit is over. Frame Chasers is coming up right now. The time of the consumer voice is coming. These companies and these large tech tubers are just going to have to accept that I'm coming. In the great words of Uncle Ben from Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility. What happened to that? That's what I grew up on. If you are in a position of power where you have a platform, that is the most powerful thing right now in 2022, is having a platform. In my opinion, it is your job to steer your audience right. Now, I encourage you to go back to this last video here and read the comments that we had. He obviously made these comments before realizing who I was or what my skill sets were. So it does not look good for his competency level with the replies that he gave me, right?
From DDR4. Now, that's not to say that DDR5...
So he says here, he kind of takes back what he's, well, not takes back. He specifies what he meant, right? He means that if you're buying a new DDR5 platform, let me change my font here. It's better to buy cheap DDR5 now and upgrade later. Okay, this is wrong. Again, this is why I think it has to be malicious or something, right? So when you buy a budget DDR5 platform, all budget DDR5 motherboards are 4DIMM motherboards. Okay? Again, he might not be an overclocker. He might not know any of this stuff, right? And we'll explain later why the sticks of RAM that he used were incorrect as well. They're all 4DIMM motherboards. 4DIMM DDR5 motherboards cap out around 6133 if you're lucky, depending on the chip IMC, depending on the motherboard selection, the traces, and how much money you spend, okay? In order to future-proof yourself, you need a 2DIMM motherboard for DDR5. This is the Unify X, the Apex, the Tachyon, or what the heck is, I think that's it. Yeah, ASRock doesn't have one, do they? Now, these motherboards This one is what, $560. This one's like $700. This one doesn't, you can't even get, oh, you're right, the Kingpin, the dark, right? You can get the dark Kingpin from EVGA. You have to have one of these motherboards if you want to future-proof yourself in the future. The reason why that is, if you go back to my last video, tuned DDR4 versus 7,000 DDR5, DDR5 is still slower. It's crazy. So his recommendation here of getting a 4DIMM cheapo motherboard and these Corsair sticks, down the line, if you actually end up wanting to buy faster DDR5, you're going to be stuck at 6133 when it comes to stability problems. Trust me on this. Now, why would you buy something where you will be stuck on 6133 when you can just get DDR4 and not have those stuck problems, right? Now, you can see that when you want to buy one of these motherboards, the entire budget scenario goes out the window. Why would Intel release DDR4 motherboards and compatibility if it wasn't going to be a better option for budget gamers? Why, right? I also want to say I did address all this in my comments to him in the last video, but he may have published this video or recorded it before I made those comments, in which case that does make sense of why this video is so inaccurate. If he recorded this video after my comments, though, then it's malicious, basically. Okay, so here's part 2 of why I believe it is maybe agenda driven or malicious, right? He's using 3200 C14, right, which is B die, dual rank. Okay, and then in his 4000 sticks, he used non-B die C19, single rank. Right? What the hell? 4000 C19 non-dual rank, or I guess just single rank, single rank non-B die. Here is the other interesting thing with that, right? Now, the 12 here, this is the real kicker, right? The 12100F has a locked system agent voltage, right? You cannot enable XMP on 4000 memory sticks without it bumping into gear 2, right? Now, the other thing here, you might be thinking, how did he get 6400 to work on a 4DIMM board? They do post. That's the thing. So DDR5 is very interesting when it comes to stability, right? It will post 6400, but when you try to actually play games for long periods of time, stability issues will come into play. You have to just trust me on that, or you'll have to test it for yourself. So when you actually benchmark 6400, errors don't really come up because they're really short bursts, right? Even just to play devil's advocate here, who is going to buy a 6400 kit of DDR5? This costs more than the CPU and the entire platform that he's testing on, right? So he literally used the most expensive kit of DDR5 memory imaginable, and then he used the shittiest 4000 kit imaginable on a Gear 2 CPU. Okay, so here's the other thing, right? System agent voltage on DDR5 doesn't really matter, right? So you can run 6400 megahertz on 0.9 to 1.0 system agent. You cannot run 4000 Gear 1 without, I would say, like 1.25 to 1.3 at the minimum for system agent, right? Well, I'll say 1.3 for like to cover all CPUs, right? Even a lot of CPUs won't even run 4000 Gear 1 with 1.3. Even 1.4, they won't do it, right? So you can't run 4000 Gear 1 on a locked chip, right? So the entire component selection here. Oh, my kitty. So yeah, the entire component selection here was all geared and you couldn't have cherry picked different components to make DDR5 look better. It's super weird. Why would he be doing that? Why go completely out of your way to show DDR5 is better and then go completely out of your way to show DDR4 is worse? Why? Why bother? Why not just use accurate information? At this point, it feels like a doubling down almost, right? Like he doesn't want to admit that he was wrong or is wrong, and now he's going to continually double down and cherry pick all this random shit to confirm his point. But you shouldn't be doing that as a tech tuber. You're doing your audience a disservice here. That's not okay, man. That's not okay. Yeah, so he doesn't actually address what the latencies are of each memory config, right? And he also doesn't address what gear the memories are running in, right? So you're actually going to see this this 3200, because when you XMP 3200, it will go into gear 1, but if you XMP 4000 on anything below the i9, it will bump it into gear 2, right? Automatically. So you're going to see this. I bet you're going to see this 3200 shit being faster than the 4000. It's going to be ridiculous. He thinks it's because of dual rank. No, it's because of the gear ratios, right? So what you have to do with 4000 sticks on a locked CPU, such as the 12100F or 12400F, you have to just basically you have to go down in 100 megahertz increments, and you have to select gear 1, lock in gear 1, and see which one posts, because you can't actually control the system agent, right? So you have to go 4000 wouldn't work, but you have to go 3900, then you have to go 3800, 3733, and it will usually start working around this area, right? 3666, 3666, right? And then once you find which one posts in gear 1, then you tune the sub timings, right? And that's how you actually have to make the 4000 sticks work on a locked CPU. If you leave it at 4000, it'll be in gear 2, right? And it will perform like complete ass cheeks. Yeah, look at this. Like, yeah, what the hell? Dude, dude, Steve, man, why wouldn't you look at this and just be like, something doesn't look right here? What the hell? So, like, he actually believes that 3200 is faster than 4000. Look at this. Like, that's why I'm saying this is malicious, man. Yeah, I don't know, dude. Wait a second. Why does it say 16x here and 8x here? Is this a single stick of 6400? Or are there 8 gig sticks? Well, that would explain why he got 6400 to work in the first place. He's using one stick here? It's a doubling down. This was either recorded before my comments or he's doubling down. I don't know. Anyway, let's go through his final thoughts here quickly.
Of these cheap 8GB 4800 sticks on it and get gaming. And that is going to do it for this video. If you enjoyed it.
Okay, this is terrible, dude. Okay, so Steve, man, if you watch this react video, I told you in the comments, dude, if you select a price point, any price point you want, you go DDR5, I will spend the same amount of money. I'll spend less money, and I'll go DDR4, and my system that I build will have 20% more performance or greater. And that's not a hardware overclocking knowledge challenge. That's not the point here. The point is, I'm challenging your testing methodology. Keep in mind, this also isn't personal whatsoever, right? So like, Steve, if you just need help or some tips on how to configure these systems properly, just reach out, dude, and I'll just tell you exactly which sticks to buy, which are the cheapest ones, how to configure them properly. Not even overclocking, no sub timings, no primary timings, no voltage touching at all. Even just configuring the sticks properly in their XMP forms will make a massive difference to your numbers. Like, it's insane. That's what I'm saying. So if you don't know how to do this stuff, I can help you with it. But if you truly believe that you are correct in this, I encourage you to take me up on my challenge and just see, maybe open your eyes a little bit. If you want to take me up on the challenge, great. If not, I'm gonna keep making these react videos, and I have to let people know that this is just straight up wrong. And it's not me doing drama, it's me looking out for the consumer, because this video is anti-consumer. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed the content. See you in the next one.